If you carry anything less than a .45 automatic, you're a dummy. That's what a lot of people think. That's not what Nutnfancy thinks, but a lot of people subscribe to that philosophy. You hear it touted all the time in gun magazines, and along with a lot of other philosophy that might lead people to believe that you've got to carry a hand cannon, for lack of a better term, on your person as a concealed carry permit holder. Welcome to Nutnfancy's Obligation of Carry. This is a video I was going to produce and put all kinds of fancy pictures on, but you know what? I just need to get it out there. I need to get my philosophy out because it's the basis for a lot of what I'm going to say in future gun reviews. It's going to dovetail into my other videos that I'll make. And let's get back to this gun and caliber. And I'm going to cover calibers of carry as well. A lot of people say, you're a dummy if you carry a .25 auto. Oh, really? Well, you know what Nutnfancy says? It's better than nothing. And that's exactly what a lot of concealed carry permit holders licensed to carry a pistol in the United States of America do. They carry nothing. If you were to look at the statistics of carry across the board, state by state, in states that allow concealed carry of pistol, you'd probably find that a large majority never carry their gun. I would say probably along the order of maybe 5% carry their gun to a very high degree. And Nutnfancy, to that, for me, high degree means 90% or better, you have your gun on you. And dudes, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want the respect of Nutnfancy, by the way, all these guns have been safety checked. I don't want to waste the time doing that. If you want the respect of Nutnfancy, if you are a concealed carry permit holder, you darn well better have your gun on you when you go outside the house. Because when you license yourself to carry pistol, you're going to take upon yourself several obligations which are serious, serious business. One of them is you better know darn well what you're doing. You better be good with your gun. You better be able to hit what you're shooting at. You better be able to fire under stress. You better know your gun. And you better have it on you, like all the time. If you fail to do that as a concealed carry permit holder, Nutnfancy recommends you do not get your concealed carry permit. Why go through the hassle? Why go through the expense? Why buy a pistol if you do not intend to carry it with a high percentage? And again, I'm talking 90% or better. I want that gun on you all the time. Now, I've been carrying guns a long time. Look at the pictures, look at my videos. If you guys haven't got that message, then you haven't been watching. A long time. I've been a concealed carry permit holder for, 16 years. And yes, I carry high percentage, 90% or better. And I've done it a long time. But I've also refined my system, which I'll talk about in a second. But along the way of being a concealed carry permit holder, and by the way, yes, LE and military as well, and I carry weapons in those roles as well. But I'm constrained by SOP, Standard Operating Procedure. Therefore, I have a lot more latitude as a civilian carry permit holder than I do as an armed civilian. As an armed civilian, I can carry whatever gun I want. I can carry as many magazines I want. I can go whatever caliber I want. There's a lot to be said for that. But back to the point, in my role as an armed civilian, for the last 16 plus years, I've made a lot of observations about myself and the way I carry and things that work for me and don't work for me. And also with my associates, my friends. And let's get back to the concept that if you're a concealed carry permit holder, you better have your gun on you, like all the time. One of the things I've learned as I've gone through the years of carrying guns as a sheepdog, by the way, sheepdog means you're a good person protecting good people. Cops are sheepdogs. Armed, good, and responsible civilians are sheepdogs. They're out there to prevent some jackass cutting loose in a McDonald's and killing people. That's your job. When you're a concealed carry permit holder, that's your job. And if I'm eating with my family someday, and heaven forbid I forgot my gun, I don't. But let's say I'm just in there as a regular dude, I'm praying that someone like you with a gun is in there to protect me. And that is a message that the media will never get out. They'll never get out that civilians are out there protecting other good civilians. And I'll tell you right now, Nutnfancy says that's a system that works. Cops are great. They do a lot of good work, but they're few and far between, and they just by nature of how large the cities are, they're slow to respond. They cannot get there in time. Whereas you and that McDonald's can get there in time, and you can save lives with something like this. But in order for you to save lives, you darn well better have it on you all the time. And one of the things I've heard from people as years have gone by, well, dude, I say, hey, you got your gun on you. That's one thing Nutnfancy always does. If I know you're a concealed carry permit holder, I'm going to do a gun check. Dude, you got your gun? Nah, I didn't think I really needed it today. I'm going to this place, that place. I didn't think Oh, really? Do you think the people who went to go shop in Trolley Square in Salt Lake City that day last year thought they needed a gun when that guy decided to go in there and randomly start shooting people? Do you think that the churchgoers in Colorado Springs last year thought they might need a gun when they went to their church services? When Jan, I hope I'm saying your name right, Jan Assam, the volunteer security guard, who, by the way, was a concealed carry permit holder, drew out her weapon and killed the bad guy so the killing would stop. Did those churchgoers think that they needed a gun? My point is, you never know when you're going to need your gun. Concealed carry permit holders, you'll never know. And that's why you've got to have it on you all the time. If you're a deer hunter, you go out and take a leak, you better have your gun with you, because you know what happens. As soon as you don't have your gun, you're going to see that deer waltz across about 40 yards away from you. That's just kind of an old wives' tale, but the same philosophy applies as a concealed carry permit holder. Heaven forbid you go out that day and you are in a location where some nutcase decides to cut loose on good people and you didn't bring your gun that day. And why didn't you bring it? The reason you didn't bring it is because you chose a large gun. And the large gun became uncomfortable for you. And this is a Ruger SR9. I'm not picking on the SR9. It's outstanding. There's lots of guys and gals that carry a gun this size routinely. But the point remains, it's a full-size gun. And let me just pick on the 24/7. It's Taurus instead. Just happens to be handy. And these are just a representation of guns. It doesn't mean anything. Let's say a dude decided to carry a 24/7 as a concealed carry permit gun. Right on, dude. Thumbs up from Nutnfancy. Except as time goes by, he finds it's kind of big, kind of bulky, kind of uncomfortable because he's carrying it in a waistband carry fashion. And that waistband carry fashion is uncomfortable. So what does he start doing? Leaves it at the house. Goes out that day, doesn't carry his gun, it's uncomfortable. I don't need it. And he starts rationalizing. I'm just going to this place and that place. Chances of me ever needing the gun, I don't need it. And you just failed as a concealed carry permit holder. Obligations of carry means to Nutnfancy, you carry your freaking gun all the time. All the time. Never go outside the house without your gun on. That's your obligation as a concealed carry permit holder. If you're not willing to take upon that obligation, then you're basically saying I'm not willing to function in society as a sheepdog. Now, I know there's a lot of legalities, a lot of things that come into play with concealed carry permit use. And I'm not going to address those now. I might in future videos. What I'm talking about is your obligation to protect good people with your weapon. And I'm not just talking about your wives, your children, your friends, yourself. I'm talking about other good people that are out there. The sheep. Yeah, they're sheep, but they're still good people, and they certainly don't deserve to be mowed down by some madman. And that's why you need to get a system that works for you 24/7, 365. Perfect your system. And your system may be different than my system. I don't know. What's my system? Dude, you're looking at it right here. Car PM9. With me 24/7, 365. Unless I'm duty carrying or on duty, in which case it's going to be something different. But as a civilian carry dude, this Car PM9 is mine. And don't get wrapped up about the gun. Who cares? For me, this is what works. Car PM40 for you. You know, maybe, what is it, PM45, the 45 caliber version? Doesn't matter. But in 16 years of carry, this is a system that I can carry 24/7, and I know it's on my person. But if you're a female concealed carry permit holder, and there's a lot of y'all out there, and bless you, I hope we multiply. I hope every woman in the United States of America and guys in Europe, I'm so sorry you can't carry. I wished you could, because you have just as much need to be armed as we do in the United States. Because last time I checked, bad people aren't just in the U.S. They're everywhere. But you female CCW holders, bless you. But you need to find a system that works for you. 24/7, 365. And this might be too big. Getting back to the small caliber gun. It might be just a Beretta 950 25 auto. If that's the most comfortable for you, that when you leave the house that day, you know for a fact you're going to have it on your person, then you got a system that works. Yeah, it's only 25 auto. I know that. I know the 25 auto is underpowered. You know what? All handgun calibers are underpowered. We're not talking a rifle. They're handguns. You have got to make your shots count. You got to hit CNS. You got to do a triple tap, 2 in the chest, 1 in the head to make them count. All handguns fall into that category. And Nutnfancy is not enamored with any caliber. I don't think any caliber is the end-all solution to a shooting. They're handguns. They're emergency defensive tools in my book. And yes, the 25 auto is teensy. But it beats nothing, and it gives you options. If you are unarmed, you don't have options. Your option is to run away or die. And if you can't get away, and I'm assuming that there's some madman that's walked into wherever and decided that day he's going to put the hurt on some people, what are your options? And you're unarmed. You don't have a lot. UCCW, and I know the acronym is different in different states, concealed carry permit holders, please carry your gun all the time. Find a system that works for you. If you tune into the Nutnfancy channel, I know I'm maxed out, but trust me, I'm going to come out with videos to help you do just that, to refine your system, to save you a lot of time and grief and money, and you'll be able to get a system that works. Now, politically, things may change. We may have a different president. We may have the elimination of licensed civilians carrying guns, and that would suck. I hope that never happens. Please vote accordingly so it doesn't happen. Because, like I said at the beginning of this video, one of the most effective safety devices we have in the United States of America are good people who are responsible, who are mature, carrying their pistol with them all the time. It's like having free cops. It really is. And any good cop will tell you he is for that. If I ever come across a law enforcement associate and he talks badly about a responsible citizen being armed, that guy is an idiot. And I will tell you right now, knowing the law enforcement community like I do, they are definitely in the minority. There's been instances where concealed carry permit holders have saved cops' lives. Happens. Now, a word of warning. If you do intervene as a concealed carry permit holder, you use your good judgment, and you have found that there is no other way to save lives than by bringing out your gun and making a shot, making a shoot. I'll talk separately in different videos about that very serious decision. But make sure that when the real sheepdogs arrive on scene, the police officers, that you put your darn gun down and you identify yourself. Do not have your gun in your hand when the real sheepdogs roll into town, because they may think you're the bad guy. Heads up. But bless you, if you've gone to the trouble, the hassle, and the expense of getting your concealed carry permit and you are carrying your gun, I'm impressed with you. And I thank you for it, as should every citizen should thank you for it. And guess what? You're not going to get those thanks. And more often than not, you're going to be painted as some lunatic. What? You carry a gun all the time? You're a nut. No, he's not a nut. What he is an individual that could save your life, dummy. He's a sheepdog. And we need a lot more of them. And the media should get on board and protect your right to do this. Because guess what? The shootings are not going to stop. There's still going to be bad people around the world, not just in the U.S., that will get a hold of an illegal gun. Laws will not stop them. I repeat, laws will not stop the bad people. And they will continue to hurt good people. Sheep, if you will. And you as a concealed carry permit holder can and should and have the obligation to intervene with your gun that you should have on you 24/7, 365. So, are you an idiot to have a 25 auto? Maybe you have a little bit of perspective now. If that is what you carry comfortably all the time, then the answer is a definite no. You have something. Now, granted, you might have to close with a perpetrator within 7 yards to make this gun count. But that's happened a lot with this tiny, diminutive little cartridge. There's been a lot of bad guys killed with 25 autos. I'll tell you that right now. If you can make it happen with an SR9, a 1911 45, and you carry all the time with that larger gun, more power to you, man. I am so for that, I can't even tell you. But if you ever run into Nutnfancy and I ask you if you have your gun on and you answer no, you lose massive respect from me because you are not fulfilling your obligation to carry. It's a very serious thing. You can help people, and that's what we should live our lives for, is helping people. And one of the best ways you can do it is to be a responsible and dutiful concealed carry permit holder. This is Nutnfancy. Stay tuned. You'll hear more about this in the future. Thanks for watching. I sure appreciate it. Obligation for carry? Yeah, it's for real.